Well, it's 1 o'clock. Hello, everybody. We're live. We're not just live, we're Kickstarter live. It's a funny thing to talk to all of you who can't talk back. If anybody's out there, hello, welcome. And so I'll talk to you today about two things. Oh, I'm Rana. I'm the CEO of Felsuma. You're stuck with me for the time being. So there's two things we're going to talk about today. One, I want to walk you through the devices and try to help you see the devices perhaps differently from the way you're thinking about them, and try to shift your mind into this notion of what we call problem solving. And then secondly, I'll just tell you a little bit about Felsuma, because if you're buying our products and helping us get this started, then you need to understand a little bit about who we are and where we're going with all of this. First, thank you so much. Thank you so much for helping us reach our goal. I don't know what to say except for thank you, and off we go. I'll talk a little more about the stretch goals and what we're doing with that in a moment. But I have a question, I have a comment. First question. How many people out there understood the rock and roll reference to the title of today's Kickstart Live? Show of hands for the number of people who understood the reference. All right, 7, not bad. Comment. Sorry about the earlier mix-up with the dates. It said June 6th instead of July 6th, but I figured you would look at that and say, it's just the CEO, he's an idiot, and you'd figure it out. All right, you ready? Ready to think like X-Skin? Here we go. Start with the GRIPHOOK. GRIPHOOK is the flagship product, right, in our portfolio. Now, the way I'd like you to think about this is way different from just a hanger. In fact, when my colleagues started to use the word hanger for our Kickstarter presentation and materials and what have you, I winced a bit, and I thought, but we're so much more than a hanging device, actually. So we have the GRIPHOOK, and it has the X-Skin anatomy, as all of our devices have, and I'll point that out to you. This side here, that will go against the wall. Here's the X-Skin logo. But on the other side, we have the pad. This is the pad, skin, and this clear material is the tendon. We call it the tendon. And then actually refer to the hook as the bone. So you have pad, pad, skin, tendon, and bone. Now, a couple things about this. People often, they peel off the liner and then they look at the pad there and they say, is that the X-Skin? And the answer is no. The entire device is X-Skin. The entire device is X-Skin. We can make a grip hook out of multiple different materials. You've seen the one made out of carbon fiber. You may have seen the one made out of film. This one, the pad and skin, are foam. It's a completely different device. Each one of them is a grip hook. Each one of them has the anatomy of X-Skin, but each one also has different performance properties. So that's one important part of the whole device is the grip hook. The whole device is X-Skin. Now the second thing, look at it. So look at it this way as a cross section, okay? And you'll see this looks like a gecko's foot, actually, as if this part, the pad and skin of the foot, the tendon is the leg, and the bone is the skeletal structure. And part of what makes a gecko different and able to walk up a wall, largest animal on the planet to do so, is the fact that it has this tendon that connects skin to bone. Our tendons connect bone to muscle. Oh, we have a chatter. Not a caller, but a chatter. Are those grip hooks behind you? How long have they been up? Yes, those are grip hooks behind me. These are experimental grip hooks, and we're testing weights up here, and they've been up there for several weeks at this point. Thank you for asking. And so I'm sitting in our office next to our laboratory in Nashua, New Hampshire. So what you see in our office is this whole back of the wall here is is painted drywall, and you can see all kinds of testing going on with multiple products and weights to see what works. And we have other surfaces where we're also testing. Thank you. So back to the grip hook. There's another thing I'd like to show you, which is this. Take note here, you have the pad and skin and the tendon being somewhat displaced, off-centered, a little bit higher than this. What that gives you when you're hanging on a wall is it gives you degrees of freedom. It allows you to put this up. I'll put it up here like this. So peel it off, demonstrate how we use a grip hook. This is a piece of painted drywall. And press it on as thus. And I brought actually a watering can, only because it allows us to show that the grip hook can handle something that's away from the wall. It doesn't have to be purely down. And that is the notion of why this tendon operates the way it does, okay? A very, very important part of what is GEC-skin technology, that it can allow for something away from the wall. All right, now, second thing, sorry, before I go too fast. You have here the toe pad. The toe pad is how you peel it. Each one of our devices is designed to be peeled a particular way. And if you notice in the video on the Kickstarter, we say we can grip and peel. And the peel is where all the damage happens. We all know this in terms of tapes, right? We peel off tapes and that's when we damage something. So the idea of being able to grab the toe pad, and I'll show you specifically, if you want to peel it the proper way to minimize the probability of damage, we call it the 180-degree peel. Pull directly across the device, right? Not straight out, but directly across the device. That's a 180-degree peel, and that'll minimize the potential for damage. The beauty of the grip hook, as you've probably surmised, there's another surface for you. This is unpainted wood, and we can take the grip hook, press it on here as well. I don't have anything exciting to hang for you, but I do have my keys, just to make the point that we can put it on there, and we can peel it off of there. And then I brought a third surface for you. I brought just a piece of plexiglass, just to make the point that this is going from surface to surface, right? And how we use it, and grip and peel. All right, now, the thing I want to explain about the grip hook, if you're thinking about it as just a hook, it's not like anything else that's out there. The ability, there is no other device that can go from one surface to the other the way I just have, that can hang something as I have, with the same experience of being able to grip and peel. Now, thinking for a moment about applications. So this word spontaneous is very, very important when you're thinking about GEC-skin devices. It was a word that took us a little while to come to, but here's what I'd like you to think about. First, let's think about events, things that come and go, scenarios. For example, a boat. You're on a boat for a period of time, everything's locked down, and then you take a cruise, there's a period of time. An RV, recreational vehicle. You're traveling in that for a while, there's a place where you're going to need grip hooks, okay? A pop-up shop, a pop-up store. Definitely temporary, by definition. A trade show is temporary also. Here we go, a party. So a friend of a friend the other day was saying that she sure wished she had some grip hooks because she was throwing a bridal shower. And they had rented a space and they had to put things on the wall and they weren't sure how to do that. Perfect. It's a temporary event. So think of all these temporary events, things that happen for a period of time, could be a day, could be a week, could be a month. Take it to another level. Seasonality. I'll give you a really good seasonal story. So it's summer now, and the other day in my house, we put up air conditioners in certain windows. But of course, being there in certain rooms, we want to block off those rooms, and some of them have open doorways. So what we did was we took 2 grip hooks, put them up on the threshold of the doorway, and hung a mat, actually it's like a bamboo mat, on the 2 grip hooks to block the air. Perfect. When the heat wave is over, we'll take down the grip hooks, take down the mat, done. But for the meantime, they're keeping the room cool. A second seasonal example. The other day, we were at a friend's house near the beach. So we were swimming, come back, and We have wet towels and we have wet bathing suits. So the whole idea here, take a grip hook, put them up on the outside frame of a door, put your wet bathing suits there. Take a grip hanger, which I'll demonstrate for you in a moment, put it over the door on the outside and hang the towel to dry. If you want to take 2 grip hangers over the door, you can do that and then put the towel up on it, that much easier to dry. Another one was using a banister. You can obviously put grip hooks on a banister, but you can also take the grip hanger and put that over a banister to let towels dry. And you don't have to put them, therefore, the wet stuff on a wooden banister, if that's what it is, and you have sensitivity to it. So there you have a couple of simple scenarios, but then also begin to think about convenience. Just the convenience of, I'll give you some examples. So one user took his grip hook and put it next to his desk and put his, you know what he did? He put his headphone on it, like this. Put the grip hook up, and then he took his headphone and he hung that next to his desk. I have another user who took his grip hook and he put a pack of printer cartridges next to his printer. So the idea of convenience of putting something where you want. Another person put his glasses, put a grip hook next to the shower. So when he got out of the shower, he knew, he put his glasses there. When he got out, he knew exactly where his glasses were going to be. Ask yourself this question. What am I always looking for? What is it that when I leave the house, I can't find it? What is it that I want to go do something, I can't find it? I got one for you. So in my house, my wife wants to find her bicycle helmet. She likes to bicycle. And she's always running around looking for the helmet. So the other day, I mean, if you ask me, I think a helmet's a pretty big item. Not sure where it went, but that's not the point. She took a grip hook, put it up on a wall next to her desk, put her gloves in there, put the helmet on there, done. Knows where the helmet is. There's now peace in the household, at least when my wife wants to go cycling. So there, I ask you to think about this notion of what am I always looking for? And there's the beginning of this idea of problem solving. It's just the very beginning, because here's the part I need to explain. Obviously, in preparation for this Kickstarter launch, I've given away several grip hooks. And I will then check back with that person to whom I gave the grip hook a week later, 2 weeks later, and say, so what did you decide to, tell me, what's the usefulness of it? Too often, somebody will say, I'm still trying to figure out how to use it. Therein lies the problem. We're still thinking like it's something that's permanent or even semi-permanent, right? So the fact is, I'll give you another small anecdote. One day, not to harp too much on my family, my wife and I were thinking about where to put a grip hook up in a closet. We're standing there thinking, well, should we put it on this side? Should we put it on that side? And I realized after about a minute of going back and forth, the whole point here is we can put it up wherever the heck we want and then just move it another day. But it's a shift in mentality. So here's what I suggest when you receive these in the mail. Take one, put it next to your bed. Oh, one friend of mine said he always wanted to know where the hell to put his pajamas while, during the day. Now he put the grip hook next to his bed. So put one next to your bed, put one next to your desk, put one by the front door, put one by the back door, put one in the bathroom. Just put them up. If you don't like it there, move it. Even if you have to move it, then you'll realize I can move this anytime I want. Right there, you'll already see a difference in how you think about the devices. Aha, we have another chatter. Would I be able to use grip hooks to string lights around a large room? Yes, absolutely. Now, we're also talking about the GRIPLOOP for that application. I would say that it depends how big the lights are and how heavy they are. But yes, the grip hook would be perfect for wrapping the lights around the hook onto the next grip hook, onto the next grip hook, as the GRIPLOOP will be as well. Perfect question. Thank you. So that's what a few of the ideas I wanted to share with you on the grip hook. My daughter has used it all over her room. She has grip hooks holding up jackets. She has grip hooks holding up mobiles. She has grip hooks holding up necklaces. She has grip hooks holding up pictures, small pictures. The one that was very clever is she took 2 grip hooks side by side, the hooks like this, and put her cell phone in it. at night. While she's sleeping, that's where she keeps so that was very ingenious. She had a place to keep her cell phone at night while she's sleeping by using two of them together. Moving on, the grip hanger. So I put the grip hanger here on the landing pad, right? Because just to demonstrate, it's a storage area. So this grip hanger, here's a grip hook, there's a grip hanger sitting here, waiting to be used. So we'll use it now. You just peel it off of the landing pad. And there we go. So I'll use this piece of painted drywall. Hold on, I'll interrupt myself. We have another question. Love the idea of using grip hooks for wet bathing suits outside. Is it strong enough to hold the suit while? Yes. So I'll contend yes. A grip hook is designed to hold a pound. Now, while I may be outside of my realm of expertise on the subject of bathing suits, I'll say yes. A pound is probably even a wet bathing suit. The grip hook will hold that. I don't think that even a wet bathing suit. Now, the reason I mentioned a grip hanger for towels is because a towel can get pretty heavy, wet. So you may want to consider a grip hanger. Thank you for the question. If it's a big, heavy hanger, you might want to consider the grip hanger for that. We have another one. All right, is that what Ted wants to know? So the how many times can I use question? All right, you ready for this? It's a fantastic question, but let's take a moment to answer it. The idea of what will impede the bond of any of these devices, at the end of the day, everything wears out. We all wear out, for God's sake, we know that. So everything's going to wear out over time with multiple uses, but dirt ultimately will impede the bond. So if you were to take a brand new grip hook and throw it in the dirt and in the mud, I reckon you may get a one use out of it. Don't know if you'll get two. Questionable whether you get the one if you literally throw it in the dirt. Now, I can take this guy here, which I've now used 3-4 times simply in the show itself, presentation, and I can peel it off of here, and I can do it again. So it's not going to get dirty very quickly, and I can probably use this 5 to 10 times. And the fact is, depending on the nature of the dirt and how dirty one becomes, we're also going to be sending with some of the devices and some of the packages these alcohol wipes. An alcohol wipe, soap and water also, can clean it off and resurrect it up to a point. So the whole number question is more a function of what you decide to do with it, how dirty it gets, how clean you keep it. One point I'll tell you, imagine you're sitting at a park bench and you're about to sit down. You may just take your hand and swipe the park bench before you sit down, right? Just for in deference to your pants. Same thing. I often find myself just, at this point it's habitual. I'll just do that to a surface before putting on a grip hook or a grip hanger. Just out of habit at this point, just like a park bench. This is not something where we're asking you to take an alcohol swipe and clean this and wait and then press for 30 seconds and then wait for 30 minutes. No. What we're asking you to do to apply these, this goes for all devices, be diligent about pressing it on. It's a gecko. A gecko has to press on to create the bond, right? So press it on to engage it, and then that's it. You're all set. I'd say just taking your hand and wiping it. So that's going to maximize the number of uses for you. Thank you for your question. On to the grip hanger. So imagine this is the top of a door, painted drywall. We'll call this the front, this the back. So what you want to do with a grip hanger, oops, wrong side of the camera, is put it over the top of the door, right? And on the back. Geez, I'm having a hard time. There we go. Trying to be right-handed. So you want to put it on the back of the door and then press that on thusly. Now you've got yourself a grip hanger. Again, I'm not going to get too fancy for the purposes of this. But the idea being, and it can also be, of course, the side of a table. So think about any horizontal corner where you can use this. So a woman's purse, for example, on the side of a table, so she knows exactly where her purse is. She doesn't have to put it on the back of her seat or on her lap. Right? She put this next to her on the table, for example. But the over the door was where it first started, and then somebody else said, another application, holding my purse. Perfect. I'm sure you guys will think of yet more. The grip hanger is designed to hold 5 pounds. grip hook, 1 pound. This one's designed to hold 5 pounds. So the grip hanger, obviously we have shoe racks, we have long dresses, we have heavy overcoats. We mentioned wet towels, heavy wet towels. So these are larger items. Now, one thing we've done in our house is actually we've put these on closet doors on the outside. For a jacket that we use every day, rather than even having to open the closet and get it out, it's right there ready to go. So I give you that point of convenience. It's a real point of convenience in how to use the grip hook on the outside of a closet. All right, the last device, the GRIPLOOP. Okay, so the GRIPLOOP, invented by Linda, was designed because Linda, being a mechanical engineer, one day wanted to put her paintbrush attached to her paint can. So she wanted to make the paintbrush grippable all by itself. So what she did was she looped the GRIPLOOP through the handle of the paintbrush, attached it to the side of the can, and that way she knew that brush was dedicated to that paint. And when she wanted to use it, she simply took it off, used the brush, cleaned it, and put it back on the can. And that was where it started. And then we saw this and said, wow, okay. And the uses went off from there. So, but that solved a problem for her. It was, that's the paintbrush, how do I keep track of it? Rather than just putting it on top of the paint can where it can fall off. Here's a GRIPLOOP. Here's how you assemble it. So this white part is a liner to an adhesive. What you want to do is peel off the white part, and now you're going to create the loop. A little tough to do to make sure you can see it on the camera, but we'll give it our best shot. There you go. So create the loop by putting it up here on the skin of the device. Now there's a liner here, another liner, and that's to protect the pad. We have a liner on the pad of the grip hanger. We have a liner on the pad of the grip hook. So all of our products come with a liner to protect the pad. So peel that off, and you have yourself a GRIPLOOP. Actually, I was playing with one right before. So a GRIPLOOP. Here's my piece of painted drywall. So I can put this on here. But as you'll see, actually, I happened to be playing with one before. I'll show you what I did. I have a computer cord that I actually use for a speaker. Because one of the things, actually, my daughter realized, is that we can use these GRIPLOOPs to manage cords. So this cord goes with a speaker. It's called a UE speaker or something of that nature. And I loop it through here. I used to have a shelf full of a whole bunch of cords all jumbled up like spaghetti, right? And then one day I realized, okay, the GRIPLOOP is perfect once she made me aware of that. So now I have all the cords lined up, and I did one other thing. I labeled it so that I knew it was the cord for that speaker. I think it's called a UE speaker, if I'm not mistaken. It's not the point. But the whole point is I can peel it off of there, put it back up here, and then we have a GRIPLOOP. Then, of course, lights came into as another application. So we have lights. Some people, we have holiday lights. In fact, this year, for the first time in 25 years, we put up holiday lights because of the GRIPLOOP and thoroughly enjoyed them. Never put them up before. But other people, as you know, often have those little white lights that they keep up all the time. They drape them over their pictures and other pieces of furniture. Now they can use the GRIPLOOP. I'm sure you'll come up with several more applications for the GRIPLOOP. I'll close with my introduction to the products by saying this. It's what I said in the very beginning. Shift your mind. Shift your mind away from just hanging something and onto solving a problem, whether it's a seasonal or temporary. Remember, these are geckos.